Hi guys, author Anthony Seldon appeared on Sky News to talk about his new book, Johnson at 10, The Inside Story. And in the interview, he laid out perfectly the flaws in the former Prime Minister's character. Now, when it came to Brexit, Seldon claimed that Boris wasn't a true supporter of Brexit, and even Brexiteers saw this. But both they and Johnson knew that it was the golden ticket to get him into number 10. For him, it would mean power. For them, they believed that they had somebody who would do anything to maintain that power. Have a listen.
What did you learn personally about Boris Johnson during the course of researching and writing this book that we didn't already know?
Well, I think that quite what a sad figure he was and how ill-equipped to be Prime Minister. I mean, being Prime Minister is a really big deal. You hold the future of the country, the future safety, the well-being of its citizens in your hands. He made Brexit happen. He got it through, but he didn't deliver the Brexit gains. He didn't achieve what he said he would achieve. The country needed to have a healer. It needed somebody who could lead it in a clear direction. And it was extraordinary that within 2 years of winning a significant landslide election that should have guaranteed him 5 years in power, he had his own party baying for his departure. I mean, it was a really bad period of government for Britain. He was ill-equipped. He desperately wanted to be Prime Minister, but he hadn't a clue what he wanted to be Prime Minister for, and he hadn't a clue how to be Prime Minister. And that, really is not good enough. It's too big a deal to be Prime Minister not to take it more seriously. It's not a joke.
You mentioned Brexit. Do you think he believed in it?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, talk to any Brexiteer. And they all say that they never regarded him as one of their own. He never joined the Brexit groups that ambitious Tories did on their way up the greasy pole of politics. After it was over, he really couldn't care very much about getting that Brexit benefit. Of course, he's convinced himself now that he was a Brexiteer at the time that many people are beginning to wonder whether it really was such a smart move. No, I mean, he did it because it was going to be the best course of action to deliver his dream, which was to become Prime Minister.
I agree 100%. It was about Boris Johnson. It was always about Boris Johnson. It wasn't about the country, it wasn't about the party, it was about Boris Johnson. Now, I think he raised some very interesting points here about how Boris Johnson is a sad figure and ill-equipped. Of course, he was ill-equipped to be Prime Minister because Prime Minister, the job of Prime Minister is more than just debating and acting like a fool and, dressing up in costumes and, for a photo opportunity. Johnson, I believed, treated Parliament in particular as a debating chamber. It was like, his old days at Oxford. Give us a topic to debate and I'll argue the pros and cons of it. And you can see that during PMQs. Asked a question, he wouldn't answer the question, he'd start talking about something else. And then he'd throw in a bit of Latin or throw in a bit of a ridiculous language or attack the other side. He was in his element, in a sense. He loved it. I believe he actually liked PMQs because it gave him a moment to shine. But when it came to the actual work of Prime Minister, him, like many senior Tories like Dominic Raab and others, are really lazy. They hate doing work. I think Johnson liked the idea of being an international statesman, and perhaps in a way he probably would have preferred Brexit not to have happened because it would have allowed him to have a bigger platform. Perhaps he would like to have been the European statesman. Of course, he couldn't have that after Brexit. And also, I think what really harmed him was this idea that he was going to deliver Brexit benefits. Okay, I imagine he was on the fence when it came to Brexit itself, and he doesn't really understand Brexit. Look at what happened in Northern Ireland. But he wanted to be the guy who would deliver the benefits of Brexit. That's what he promised to people. And then, of course, as soon as it became clear that he couldn't deliver any Brexit benefits, his support started to ebb away. So he was completely unprepared, ill-equipped to be Prime Minister. It requires somebody with a massive level of skill, political skill, diplomatic skill, being able to work with the working class all the way up to the upper classes, knowing what they want and how to manipulate them in order to win them over. And Johnson didn't have any of that. He was a clown. It worked for a while, but then when things like the pandemic arrived and the consequences of Brexit, the clowning facade sort of wore off. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.